I'm so happy to see everyone in person. I'm just so used to seeing everyone behind the screen. I can reach out and touch. So thank you all so much for being here. It truly is an honor. We are very appreciative in Kentucky women's basketball that you all cover our program with great support. So thank you guys. Really excited about this team. I have so much to cover. I know you all have some great questions, so I won't steal your thunder. But before we get started, I want to say a special thank you to our coaching staff. They have been amazing. Coach Nia Butts, Coach Amber Smith, Coach Gail Gestencourse. She is phenomenal. And then Coach Lynn Dunn. She's not with us in person, but I can assure you that I get 15 pages of text per day to make sure that her presence is felt. So a big shout out to them. So we'll go ahead and open it up with questions.
What was the reason that Treasure didn't participate in the Blue White game yesterday?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Why didn't Treasure Hunt participate in the Blue White game yesterday?
Yes, Treasure was not feeling her best. So she was ill yesterday, so she will be back in practice today.
What was the importance of having a full summer? Do you think you kind of took that for granted in years past, now that you didn't have it last year compared to this year?
Absolutely. You always knew how important a summer was, but last year when we didn't have it, we really just came in on the basketball court and started practicing. We didn't really have time to gel. So you saw during points of the season when we hit adversity, the trust factor, understanding each other in different ways, it really showed itself. So this summer, we made a big commitment of making sure we were doing team bonding on and off the court. We did Fort Campbell, which was one of the hardest things that we have ever done. It was exciting, it was fun. I had this bright idea. I was like, the coaching staff, we're going to do it with you guys. We're going to be in the trenches. I promise, guys, the first mile in, I was like, whose idea was this? But it really showed the staff in a different light. It showed the players that we were in the trenches together and that it takes everyone in order to be successful. The other thing we did all summer long was the give back, the Elzy era give back tours, which I thought was a huge success. It gave us an opportunity to bond with each other, but also to give back to people who support our program. So it was a big hit for us this summer. That we are tough, that we are resilient, and we're not going to leave anyone behind. That was an activity that forced us to be our best physically and mentally, and all year we talked about getting over the hump. When adversity hits, that we have enough to get over the hump, and that's what it showed, resiliency.
And just looking both at the roster and at the coaching staff, what level are you guys at right now with COVID-19 vaccinations, and is there a plan if you're not at 100% right now to get to 100% before the season begins?
I feel comfortable with where we are right now. We have met the 80% threshold, so we are doing good. Our trainer, Courtney Jones, is make sure that we are really diligent in following COVID protocols to stay safe. Our administration and Jim Madalino, they do a phenomenal job to make sure that we are educated and safe.
Have you seen Treasure take that sophomore step so far?
Yeah, it was a tough transition for Treasure last year. But what I love about Treasure, she's going to continue to work. She understands her place, her role, and what we need her to do. And she is a work in progress. But when the light bulb is on, she is a difference maker for our team. And so we are counting on Treasure. She's going to make a big difference for us this year. She's a big bodyguard that can play the 3 and 4 position. And she can shoot the 3 like people shoot free throws. And so she is offensively skilled.
But Jada, seeing that she doesn't look like a freshman, it seems like she's been here for a while, like based on the way she plays. Are you kind of getting that sense as well?
We love Jada. She's been a great addition to our team. She's the lone freshman, but she does not play like a freshman. She arrived on campus and she was like, Coach, what do you need from me? And I was like, there's 3 things. I need for you to be coachable, I need for you to play hard, and I don't want you to back down. Just because you're the lone freshman, and trust me, she does not back down. One of our first practices, she was going on a fast break. She got fouled. They slammed her head into the backstop. She picked the ball right back up, and she got to half court and started the offense again. So she brings a toughness, a high motor, and there's something to be said about a coach's kid. You know, they just have a different type of toughness about them.
Coach, with the women's college season kind of following up a WNBA season that had its highest revenue and its highest ratings, what's your message to BBN for them to bring that to Kentucky women's basketball?
You know, all year we've talked about we want to pack out Memorial Coliseum. You know, we want the fans back in the stands. We really missed them a year ago, and there's something special about playing in front of a packed house. And just to show people that we have a talented team and a nice product on the floor, and for people to get behind this team. This is a team that you all want to see. We're versatile, we play an exciting brand of basketball, and we want to make this the best college experience, and we can do that in Big Blue Nation.
Kind of along the same lines, since last year to this year, the NCAA has come out and mentioned that they're going to change the branding for the women's tournament, make it March Madness just like the men's tournament. Being someone who had so much success in that tournament, and now you're also hoping to lead this team to success there as well. Was there any reaction or thoughts you had when that announcement was made?
Well, we always want to move the women's game forward. We're talented, and we want to make sure that we receive the same exposure. And once people watch the women's game, they usually fall in love with it. So it's just getting the exposure out there. So it's great that the NCAA wants to make a brand, and it's our job to make sure that we put the product on the floor that people want to come see it.
You talked about having an exciting brand of basketball. What's sort of the message about this team's general style of play this year, maybe even compared to sort of what we got used to seeing last year?
Well, I want to play faster than we played last year. So up-tempo, I think what makes this team very unique and special is our versatility. We play positionless basketball. We play fast. And then we talked about all summer that our defensive intensity must be there. It travels, so no matter where we go, our heart and intensity on defense and rebounding should travel with us at all times, and we must play a disruptive style of basketball. We are undersized, but we can press and run and be disruptive, which is a fun brand of basketball. Hustle plays. We took a charge yesterday and at the blue-white scrimmage, and the whole bench got up. But that's something that we are talking about constantly in practice.
Already, team with Ron Howard probably doesn't have a ceiling. Would you agree with that statement? What is the ceiling for this team?
Yes, I would agree with that statement. We want to shatter all ceilings. You know, Ryan is obviously a talented basketball player, the best in the country for so many reasons. But with that said, she has a supporting cast that can help take her to the next level along with this program. Jasmine Massengale has had a phenomenal summer. She has stepped up in the point guard position. She is leading on and off the court. Dre Edwards had a phenomenal summer. She's lost about 20 pounds. She is in the best shape of her life, playing with a lot of confidence. Blair Green, I am so proud of the progress that she has made. I always tease her. I always get her fingers moving because she's always calling for the ball. I was like, Blair, I promise we're going to get you a shot. But she is shooting the leather off the basketball. So I'm excited about the possibilities of this team.
So national championship caliber?
One step at a time, yes, but we have a very talented team, and we are one of the best teams in the country, as they've ranked us number 13, and our goal is to stay hungry and humble and continue to work and make progress each and every game.
What have you seen from Ryan in terms of what she gained from her Team USA experience in the offseason?
You know, she came back really confident. One of the things that I'm most proud of Ryan about is that she's in the best shape of her life. her fitness. We really talked about last year her being able to play 30-plus minutes, drawing the best defenders. She received a lot of body shots last year, so really committing to the weight room. And that's one thing we did across the board as a team. We committed to the weight room. We have a new strength coach and Coach Lee Taylor, who has been phenomenal. Our girls have really responded to him. And then we spent a summer also committing to nutrition. To make sure that we're fueling our bodies in order to play how we want to play, up tempo and aggressive defensively. But Ryan also vocal leadership. She always was a lead by example, but the end of last year, all of summer, and as we are heading into the season, she has been really, really vocal, and that's what we needed from her.
With only one true center on the roster in Olivia Owens, what have you seen from her this summer?
Yes, she's committed to the weight room, and one of the things that we've talked to Olivia about is she brings a different dimension to our team. She's physical, she likes contact, she's going to hustle defensively, but offensively, demanding the basketball and finishing in the paint. That's what we've challenged her with. She's setting unbelievable screens, getting people open. Now we're talking to her about rolling to the basket and finishing in the paint with contact consistently. And that's a challenge that we've asked her, and so far she stepped up to it.
You talked about Dre Edwards and,
I'm sorry.
I was going to say, Coach, you've been around coaches for a while, you've been around this program for a while. The team committing to it, just how was that buy-in then from the team as you try to build this program and build that culture as well?
Yeah, culture is something that we've talked about all summer long, or from the end of last year, all summer. It was funny, Coach Gail Gestencourse, when she got here, we were doing our staff retreats, and she was like, I've heard culture more this summer than I've heard in the last 5 years. But that was really important to me, to set the tone, as this is my program now, and a change of guards from Coach. So setting the tone and culture of how I wanted things was really important. And last year, I was kind of thrown into it. We were in the middle of the season, so it was survival mode. So culture and committing to it, we're asking them to commit to it on the court, whether it's how we play defense, it's whether it's buying into your role, how we want to play up tempo, committing to the weight room, committing to nutrition, committing to the community. It's all encompassing in what we are trying to do to move this program forward.
you mentioned Dre Edwards and sort of the progress she's made this summer. How much do you think that's going to help her consistency this year?
Well, being fit will help her all around. One, she won't rest on defense. So she has really revved it up, and we probably can keep her out of foul trouble, because some of the fouls that she received is probably because she was not in the fitness level that she needed to be in. But offensively, it's helped her so much. She's leading the break, she's shooting the three, she's crashing the offensive rebounds. You will see a different Dre Edwards this year.
At the beginning of last season, y'all got off to a great start and then kind of struggled towards the end. Just how do you use that to learn, and what issues that happened then have you already tried to mend going forward into next season?
It goes back to resiliency. When adversity hits, or when we were fatigued, we have to be able to get over the hump. And that was one of the things that we talked about at Fort Campbell. So I didn't tell them that they were going to Fort Campbell. They thought they were coming into a team meeting. So surprise. And then what we talked about is the unknown. There's going to be adversity. There's going to be unknown this season. There's going to be things that happen to us that might derail our mental psyche for a minute, that we will have to bounce back. And then we talked about the team bonding. So at the end of the meeting, I told them that everyone, including the staff, were going to drop our cell phones in a bag. You would have thought I was talking a foreign language, that they had to give up their cell phones for 24 hours. But it was the best thing, because it really forced us to communicate and bond. And be able to problem solve. And so that was one of the biggest things that we didn't do down the stretch last year, that we will be better this year.
You mentioned Coach Gestencourse a couple of times. She brings a wealth of experience and knowledge, and sometimes for a new coach, a new head coach like yourself,
Well, clearly it's not intimidating because I hired her on the staff. There's no ego here. That's the thing that I love about this coaching staff. We are all in it to win and be the best that we can be, and we all have strengths and weaknesses, so it's imperative that you have a staff that can balance each other out. So obviously she's a Hall of Famer. I'm blessed to have 2 Hall of Famers, and they are both phenomenal, but what each coach brings to this staff is exactly what we need at Kentucky, where Coach Butts is the high energy, very intense, along with Coach Amber Smith, who played here. So she brings a different dynamic. She's closer to age, not to age ourselves, but closer to age to the players. And then I thought Coach Gail Gessencourse brings a balance to the staff where Coach Amber, myself, Coach Butts, we're all cut from the same cloth. We're all pretty intense and high, where Coach Gail is even keel, so you need a good balance on top of her wealth of knowledge and experience. And then having Coach Lynn Dunn, she's a coach to the coaches, so she coaches me every day along with this staff, so we have a great mix, and it's important to have a great balance for your players that they come to us for different things as well.
Talk about intimidation. I was intimidated when I saw you come down from the rafters. Are you not scared of heights, and what went into that decision coming about?
No, I'm not scared of heights, and it did fit my personality. I'm pretty adventurous. So I've been skydiving, I've been bungee jumping, parasailing. So I do all sorts of crazy things in my free time when basketball's not going on. So now I can add that to my list. I never thought that I was going to rappel in Rupp Arena, but now I can just add that to my list of adventurous things. Coach Butts definitely wouldn't go with me, but I can always count on Coach Amber as my adventurous partner as we went skydiving together. So
we'll take a couple more here in the room, and then we'll go to Zoom for a minute, and then come back.
Just because of the fact that you guys don't have Chastity again this season, you'll have to start a new starting lineup because she started every game last year. So when you're having conversations with players about slotting into new roles or asking them to do something like start for the first time, what goes into those conversations, and how do you approach that as a coach?
well, it's relationships with your players. You have to have honest communication both ways. So I talk to them, they talk to me, they talk to the staff. So relationships, number one, which I'm truly confident in this program. We have great relationships with our players. That does not mean every day is perfect or a bed of roses, but we have honest conversations. And then you give them a chance to play out their role. So after practices, our exhibition games, then you go have one-on-one meetings, and then that's where I can say, this is what we need from you in order for this team to be successful. How do you see yourself? But we have those conversations all year, not just when basketball season started. We've already started this summer. These are the things I need. How do you think you can help this team? And it's honest flow both ways, but that's part of the commit to it. In order for us to be our best, everyone has to commit to their role.
Sorry, you're talking about those conversations. How has Naya's progression been this summer, and what do you expect from her this season?
Naya is one of the most coachable kids that we have on this team. I love her progression. She's willing to work. She comes in, and I've really challenged her. Defensively, she plays how I want to play. She's long, she's athletic, she plays really hard. She's a pogo stick. She can get off the floor really quick for offensive rebounds. And for her is finding her confidence. So right now we have more confidence in her than she probably has in herself, but that's part of it as you're trying to find your niche and role on the team. But we're going to need Naya. She's will continue to progress and work hard, and I look forward to seeing what she does this year.
Has the NIL been a distraction at all for your team?
No, it hasn't been a distraction for our team, and that's one of the things that it goes back to having honest conversations with your players and great relationships. So we got in the room and we just talked about it. The NIL is here, and we're going to use this as a positive. But at the end of the day, we have one name across our chest, and that is Kentucky. And that's what we are playing for. And when we win, everyone wins individually. And we talked about, no jealousy, no resentment, and they kind of laughed. But they understand what's at stake. We all came here to win. One, they need an education. Two, to have the best experience. Three, to win. And that's what they came here for, and they're very focused on that. But the great thing about the NIL, we've been on the cutting edge at the University of Kentucky for a long time, helping them brand, having financial classes, branding classes, and it's been helpful, and we're doing really well with the NIL.
How were you graded the game tape? How did Amber play?
She played great. I did give her a hard time about not crashing the boards, and I don't know if she took any charges. So it was great to have Michaela Epps with us, along with Asia Bishop. Kentucky is always a place that we want them to come home, so it was great to have them on the floor. But I'm going to give Amber, I can't give her an A because I need her to get back out there and keep working, so I'll give her a B+. Don't tell her I said that, though.
It feels like you're really hitting your stride on the recruiting front right now. Was there a transition period for you going from the assistant to the head coach, and just kind of what's your approach when you're actually going after recruits right now?
Well, the only transition is, for me, I've been in the business for 20 years, and recruiting is what I did, so there was not that big of a change for me, besides now they just say that I'm the head coach. Now, I will say, Coach Amber, I said, now I trained you, we've been in recruiting together, and all of a sudden she became my boss and makes sure that I'm on task and I'm calling, I don't miss a call. But recruiting has been phenomenal, and recruiting to Kentucky has been such a blessing for me, a place that I love, and it's the same for me. I still put my head down, grind, and we've done really well, and we'll continue to search out players that can help us get to where we're trying to go.
We're going to go to Zoom for just a few questions, then we can come back to the room for a minute. So, Chris, I'll let you call on anybody who has their hand raised there.
Coach, we'll begin with Howard Michael. Go ahead, Howard. Unmute your line and ask the question.
Thank you. Coach, thank you for the time. Good to see you again.
Great seeing you as well.
I want to talk about Ryan, specifically her WNBA trajectory. And she's obviously got a well-rounded game, but I think you go through her numbers, her assist percentage went up, turnover percentage went down. A lot of the climbing that you see from players ahead of what many talented evaluators around the league expect will be a number one overall pick when she moves to the next level. As a coach, there's sort of two parts. One is, what do you see as the next thing for her to master in terms of a skill? And the other is, how do you, when you think about it, balancing a future pro like that, what she needs individually to develop and what the team needs to develop as well? I know that's always a challenge for any coach with a prospect like her.
Yeah, great question. Well, one, yes, she is projected to be the #1 draft pick. Obviously, that is in our minds to make sure that we are helping her get to the next level with her game. But one, the two things that we've challenged Ron with to help take her game to the next level. She is extremely talented. She is gifted. Her basketball IQ is phenomenal. She can score at all three levels. But one thing we've worked on all summer is her post game. Being able to post up. She's a big body guard, posting more consistently and finishing. And two, not resting defensively. She is unbelievable defensively when she's locked in and playing hard. So challenging her to get steals, pick up the ball, be aggressive, and ask her to rebound the ball. Even though she rebounds really well, I still think she can be in double figures in rebounding. So those are the challenges. And then as far as the team, you know, obviously Ron Howard is a big part of what we do, but there is no person bigger than this team. And she understands in order for her to be her best, that she needs her teammates around her. So there's a good balance there. She has their respect. They play hard for her, but she plays hard for them as well. So in order for her to be her best, we have to be our best and continue to challenge her every day to be better. And just because she's talented, we have to continue to make sure that she's working on her game and playing her best in practice as well.
We'll go to Larry Bond.
Hey, Karen, I recently talked to a high school coach who talked about how refreshing it is that you still have a lot of contact with high school coaches in recruiting, and that not every head coach does that anymore. Kind of talk about just why you think that's important to have that relationship with high school coaches in recruiting.
Well, this goes back. Relationships, that is the key to recruiting. You have to have great relationships. And as far as your coaches, you have to build rapport and a trust with them in order for them to allow you in, and also to put yourself in the best position with their player, but also overall to be able to give back to our Kentucky coaches more specifically. It's really important as the state school and the head coach at the University of Kentucky that I have great relationships and in communication with them, and them feel like that I am available for whatever they need, as we are wanting the same thing for Kentucky basketball, from grassroots to high school to college, to be the best it can be.
Ace Gardner.
Hi, Coach. I'm curious if you expect Ryan Howard to take more shots this year, less shots, the same amount. What is your offensive involvement this season as compared to last?
Well, I want Ryan Howard to be aggressive. Obviously, she's an integral part of our offensive success. However, like I've alluded to earlier, Ryan Howard cannot do it alone. So that's where we're counting on. I've challenged Jasmine Massengale to score in double figures, Robin Benton to score in double figures, Blair Green to score in double figures. So we're going to have multiple people to score in double figures to really keep the defense honest. Last year, we watched Ryan too much, as she does make phenomenal plays, but we can't get caught watching. We have to be a part of the action, and so that's going to, we need other people involved in the offense. So I'll do a better job of making sure that we're balancing out who's getting shots and where, but if we play like we're supposed to play, up-tempo, shooting open threes in transition, and not having to play in the half court as much, you will see it will allow other people the opportunity to score.
Gary Graves.
Hey, good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Along that line, what was the process like with Ryan in terms of getting her to be more vocal and really get everybody involved, telling them where they needed to be, what they need to do?
Well, as far as getting Ryan more vocal, it's work. It's like, when you're missing free throws, you have to go in and practice your free throws. So for Ryan, it wasn't natural for her just to be a vocal leader. So we did a boot camp with her. She had to talk to the media. She spoke to different people in different professions to help her. And also this summer, we had a leadership council that Coach Gail Gessencourse ran, and they met with our leadership group here at Kentucky. So they were in meetings, and we put them in situations that they had to lead and vocally do it. And I think that has helped her confidence. And she's kind of come into her own with maturity as well. So that has been helpful. And then as far as Ryan with her team, they're all very close. This group just gels. They have great team chemistry. And I think she's more open about, this is what I need from you all on the court. What do you all need from me? So those are some conversations that they can have on their own that I think has really taken some pressure off her shoulders.
And Coach will close things out with Christy Thomas.
Oh, okay.
You mentioned twice now you want to play faster. How does that look? Is it more defensive focused? Is it more the transition game? Is it more the half court? And what are those parameters or benchmarks that you guys are looking for?
Well, in order to play faster, you have to really rev up your defense. So we have to score off of our defense, so getting steals, and we have to get the rebound and be able to run. A lot of times last year, we didn't have the defensive intensity that we needed, so we were taking the ball out of bounds, which slows down your transition offense. So really playing faster defensively, more disruptive, and being able to run will really help us play the tempo that we want to play.